doing here? I mean, that wasn't Dumbo. No, seriously, that wasn't Dumbo at all. So, yeah, you kind of get the idea for the most part. So, yeah, hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with yet another thoughts video for all of you guys. So yeah, if you have seen the last video that I did where I talked about Missing Link, I actually did see two movies back to back on the exact same day, which as you may know. So yeah, I did kind of leave you on a little bit of a cliffhanger in the last one. So yeah, I guess given for the fact that I'm holding my DVD copy of the original Dumbo right here, which I'm really proud to have right now. So yeah, I'm of course going to be talking about Dumbo, but there's only one problem. It's not the original animated film. It's the freaking live-action remake. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm talking about for the most part. I am of course going to be talking about Disney's Tim Burton's Dumbo. So yeah, and before I get this out of the way, I think I should talk about how I feel about the original. I think I will say I love the original Dumbo, hands down. I did manage to see it very recently to prep myself up for the remake, and I think for this being, well, about an hour long, I say this is actually a really great movie. I think it's actually very charming, very likable, and it's actually full of heart. So, and yeah, I guess if anything, and there are even some parts of it that would make me cry for the most part, but yeah, I guess aside from that, I thought the original Dumbo was actually a really great film. So yeah, I guess if anything, I was a little bit of spectacle on how the remake will do. Well, believe it or not, I did hear it's getting mixed reactions from the critics, and I don't think it's actually doing very well at the box office right now. So yeah, I guess if anything, the film itself is a little bit of a slump for the most part. So I guess going into it myself, I was wondering if any of those critics say were right, if the film is actually a little bit underwhelming. Well, believe it or not, they're kind of right. So yeah, I guess to me, for the most part, I thought the remake itself, I just kind of felt was pretty underwhelming. It's not great or anything, nor is it even terrible in my opinion. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, I just kind of felt it's a little bit underwhelming. Yeah, it's just kind of underwhelming from the way I see it. So yeah. So yeah, I guess if anything, I think for the story, I have to say, for while I do admire trying to be like the original animated film while adding some new elements to it, I think it just kind of feels a little bit clustered and very generic from my point of view. Like I do admire that. Yeah, I think from when the film opens up, from the way I see it, I think it actually did start on a relatively perfect note. It's already starting to feel like Dumbo, like the original animated film. But as some of the other aspects started to come in, I think that is when things start to go downhill a bit. So yeah, I guess I have to say I do admire parts of the story trying to be like the original animated film, but I think it started to get a little bit too clumsy and way too generic as the other aspects start to kick in, and not to mention the writing, I have to say, is also a little bit too cluttered up and too klutzy. I have to say, I know that since I know Tim Burton actually directed this movie, I know this movie is written by the same guy that did Transformers 2, 3, and 4. Well, I think I don't blame him for putting together this movie in general, but I just kind of felt that the writing, I have to say, I think it's just a little bit too clustered up from my point of view. So yeah, and not to mention, I think the characters, I have to say, are not really that interesting in my opinion. I think pretty much the couple of I think pretty much a couple of characters that I can think of that were not really that interesting in my opinion is probably the two kids. Yeah, I think pretty much most of, yeah, I think they're not really that really engaging to me, and I think most of their acting is kind of like, yeah, kind of like this. They kind of look like lifeless robots to me. Like, I don't blame them for the most part. Like, I know they had much better work in the past, but I have to say they're not really that engaging to me. And yeah, and like I said, the rest of the characters I have to say are not really that interesting from my point of view. So and yeah, not to mention it's even yeah, and I know, like I said, Tim Burton actually did direct this movie. Like, I know he had some great movies in the past that I still do admire. Beetlejuice, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and plenty of others that he's released. But I have to say, the direction, I have to say, I think for a while I do admire trying to put in his own twist on trying to well, like I said, trying to be like the original animated film, but try to mixing his own style like he did in a few other movies. But yeah, I do admire that, but I just kind of felt it's not really that really engaging, I have to say. And yeah, not to mention, I think the editing in this movie, I have to say, I think is probably another key issue I have with it. Like, there are some parts of parts in the editing of this movie where it just goes way too fast, like you couldn't make out on what's going on for the most part, and believe it or not, some scenes were even mixed in with other scenes that are going on around the exact same time, which like, what's even the point of that? Like, are you trying to cram in more of the story other than the main story that you're trying to adapt? So. But yeah, I have to say, I think I am pretty bugged out by some parts of this movie that were given to me. But believe it or not, there are some parts of it that I have to say are actually pretty good. Like I know I said the characters are not really that interesting for the most part, but some of the acting I have to say they're actually pretty good. Like believe it or not, I know I'm gonna sound crazy, but I really do admire the performances given to both Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito. I think they actually pulled off some pretty good performances in that. They're probably I think they're probably the best parts in the movie. I have to say, yeah, I think I really love Michael Keaton with some of his other movies that he did in the past. And even in this film, he is trying his best to actually make it work. Yeah, and I can say the same thing to Danny DeVito, I have to say. I know he's a really good actor, and he had some great work in the past, so... Oh, excuse me, I just had to cough, but yeah, and even in this film, DeVito himself did try his best to actually make this movie work, so yeah, I have to say, some of the acting, I have to say, is actually really good, and yeah, like I said, both Keaton and DeVito are trying their best to actually make this movie work. Yeah, as I really do admire those two in this movie. I think they really pulled it off here, so yeah. Always feels good to actually drink some water, so. And yeah, I guess another thing I have to say, visually, the film itself actually looks really impressive. Yeah, I think I really adore the set design, the way it's represented, like in the late 1910s to the early 20s. I think I really do admire the film visual-wise. I think, yeah, and not to mention the effects, I have to say, are actually really good. Like I really love on how Dumbo looks in live action, and yeah, and even in the film, he actually does. I think he actually does look really impressive. Like, they don't want to make him too cartoony, like you know, the Dumbo in the original, like. And yeah, I think I really do like the fact that he actually they actually did make him fly in this movie, and which I have to say is actually really spot on. Even with some great cinematography, I love of how the film is shot. So yeah, and yeah, I guess like I said, both the visuals and the effects, I have to say, I have to admit, are actually really good. I love of how on how Dumbo looks in live action, but yeah, it's pretty much what I had to say. And yeah, like I said, it's got some great cinematography to it, and yeah, and pretty much most of the and yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. The visuals and the effects, I have to say, are actually really spot on. But yeah, and I think I really do admire most of the trippy imagery from the way I see it. And yeah, like I think I do it. I know I'm gonna sound a little bit crazy for saying this, but even though it did go by a little bit too fast and doesn't feel that right to me, I think I have to say the way they actually showed off the pink elephants scene in this movie, I have to say it's actually not that bad. I have to say, but yeah, I guess it just couldn't beat out what's good about the pink elephant scene in the original. I think yeah, I mean yeah, but yeah, I don't hate the pink elephant scene in the remake. I have to say, like, I think I really do admire what they were going for, but I mean, what? No alcohol? You couldn't even give Dumbo some alcohol in this remake just so that he could have this trippy imagery. But yeah, I think maybe the film would have been much better if they added the scene where Dumbo gets drunk and he sees all these pink elephants. But yeah, I guess yeah, like I said, the pink elephant scene in the remake, I have to say, for while it's not bad for the most part. Like, I really love the direction they're going for. I think it just kind of felt that Dumbo is drunk without having to take any alcohol for the most part. So yeah, and not to mention, I think I really love the moral of this movie, where it pretty much talks about the meaning of family from the way I see it, which I have to say they actually did do an incredible job with what they're doing with the film's moral in the remake, which I have to say is not a bad moral, I have to say. So yeah, I guess those are some of the good aspects I found with this movie. But aside from that, the rest I just kind of felt is way too cluttered up and way too uninteresting, I have to say. So yeah, but I will say this. At least it's not as bad as when Tim Burton remade Alice in Wonderland, but yeah, I guess you can give Tim Burton credit that he wanted to be as close to the original and tried to be a little bit more faithful while adding in some new stuff in the remake, which I have to say it's not a bad idea for the most part, but I just kind of felt it's not really that engaging or that interesting in my opinion. So yeah, I guess overall, the live-action Tim Burton, yeah, the live-action Dumbo remake, I have to admit, I don't think it's that good in my opinion, nor is it even that terrible, I have to say. It's just kind of underwhelming. So yeah, not really good or bad or anything, just okay at best. So yeah, I guess if anything, I think I know Disney is already putting out a few more live-action remakes for this year, but yeah, I guess with Dumbo, it's already a rocky start for the most part. So let's see if the other live-action Disney remakes that's coming out later this year will probably do any better. So but I guess for now, I think if you want to see it for yourself, all power to you. But to me, I think it's one elephant that will not be flying anytime soon. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about the live-action Dumbo remake. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's good or bad in my opinion. It's just kind of underwhelming, but But yeah, and I guess if anything, I'll always love the original hands down. I think it's actually much better. So if you want to save all the trouble I went through seeing the live-action remake, but want to sell along Dumbo that's actually good for once, then just rewatch the original. So yeah. So yeah, and with that being said, that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on the live-action Dumbo remake. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have seen it for yourself, let me know in the comment section below, as well as leaving me your constructive criticisms and or advice on how I can improve my videos in the near future. And of course, feel free to send me an email if you have any questions for me, or if you want to book me for a con or event, and feel free to follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and many other of my social media sites that I have provided, and feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this special thoughts video that I did, or two thoughts videos that I posted around the exact same day. But yeah, it was actually worth it to see two movies back to back on the exact same day. So yeah, will I ever do something like that again sometime soon? I suppose so, but we'll probably have to wait and see. So yeah, that's literally about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll not only see you for my next thoughts video, but I'll see you in the next video in general. So yeah, take care.